Alright, hello.
Hello.
Welcome, guys, to another episode of Hello Hello the podcast with me, Jens. Jens, and
Yeah.
you, Ramo.
Yeah.
Was I gonna? You know what? I did say before this, Jens, we should get this show on the road because I feel like I'm gonna fall asleep, and that is proof as to why we should have got the show on the road.
Yeah,
because I'm
yeah.
gonna fall asleep. I've been awake since about 5 a.m. this morning, so please excuse me if I do muck up like that again.
It's all good.
Welcome
I'm also
to episode 58.
delirious.
I should have said. Yeah.
Yes.
It's I was gonna say,
me,
yeah.
Jens.
With you, Jens, and me, Ramo,
Yes.
is what I should have said. Glad we got that out of the way.
So everything
Wow.
good?
Yeah, everything's great.
Yeah.
Other than I
Too
feel
much
like I'm gonna fall out
Fortnite?
of my chair. Maybe a little bit too much Fortnite. Maybe a little bit. Yeah. I feel like
Well-
that's like. I think that's the most we've done the past couple of days. Me and Emma. Like, I'm trying to think. There's nothing, like, we haven't really watched anything too much. We haven't really done anything else other than like cook and clean and stuff like that. But Fortnite has been the one staple that we've just been playing the shit out of, and it's great.
It is good. It is good, I must say. I played yesterday, like a full
Yeah.
day of it,
Yeah.
and I feel broken because it's like,
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know. It's just really bright.
It is very draining like, there's just always a lot going on.
Yeah.
You don't really get any sort of like just chill
Break.
moments.
Yeah.
It's just always like, from one thing to the other. So I can see why it's very popular probably with young kids, because it just like it hits all of those, like, it's just always got something going on. There's
Yeah.
always something to have attention towards. So I can see why it's so addictive. But if you guys couldn't tell, me and Jens and Emma and a bunch of us, we've all gotten back on the Fortnite bandwagon recently. Because they changed and they took away the building, which we talked about maybe 1 or 2 episodes ago now. I think. And
Which
we
is
were
here
like,
to stay
we should play it. Yeah.
so far.
Yeah. And we thought, we should give it a go, and we finally did get around to trying it, and it has gotten its hooks into all of us.
Mm-hmm.
All
Yep.
of us. Yeah.
But yeah.
There's not much else to say, honestly, other than
Not
if you haven't
really.
tried, if you played Fortnite previously and were like, okay, maybe this isn't the game for me,
Try it
give
again.
another go. Give it another go. Yeah. I thought when I gave up Fortnite way back when, I was like, yeah, I don't think I'll ever go back to this. I'm sure there'll be tons of other Battle Royale games that I could fill my time with. But I'm very glad that I went back to it. Very glad.
I do miss Siege, I must say.
I was gonna say, I feel like we gotta figure out some time to get in something
Tonight.
else.
Tonight.
Yeah. Tonight I think we get new challenges after.
Yeah, so we
play
could
some
do
Siege.
Challenge Wednesdays.
Yeah, Challenge Wednesdays. Play some Siege, then go and watch the new episode of Moon Knight, and
Yeah.
then call it for the day. I feel like that's a good plan. Yeah.
I haven't been doing very much either. I've just been chilling. I'm trying to like not get sick because I've got my operation next Monday.
Yes. I was
So I'm
gonna
just
say,
like
trying to,
avoiding everything and just trying to like be as healthy as I can be, because if I catch COVID, that's just not good.
honestly, probably the smartest thing to do anyways. Just, like if you don't have anything to do and you don't really feel like doing too much, just chill at home, honestly.
I know,
can't
but
think of
it's
anything
like
better.
I'm gonna be I have to chill at home afterwards. So I'm like,
Yeah,
I want to do
yeah.
stuff, so that
You try and want to get it out of your system.
yeah. But I can't really.
Yeah.
But we went to see there was a new movie about Nicolas Cage.
Yes.
Which actually is great. It has the Mandalorian guy, Pablo.
Yeah, Pedro Pascal.
Oh, Pedro.
He plays what's his name? He plays Pablo Escobar, I think, in
Oh, okay. I think that's why I
in
thought
a-
it was Pablo.
in the Netflix show. I'm pretty sure that's where you're getting your a bit confused. I think he does, at least, or he's in that show. but
Someone's
yeah.
named Pablo. Anyways, Pedro is in that
Yes.
with Nicolas Cage. It's about Nicolas Cage and his career, and it's just like,
It looks super weird.
it's weird, but it's great.
Like,
It's like,
yeah.
if you are a fan of Nicolas Cage, you will like this show.
Yeah.
Movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was good fun. It was like a nice movie to watch that wasn't too heavy, because like lately we've just been
Oh,
watching a lot of heavy like dramas and shit. There's nothing
yeah.
light. Like Better Call
Well,
Saul is out.
on that note, I did
Uh-huh.
see that like this week and like maybe the past week in cinemas has been sort of like a breath of fresh air for people that want to watch a movie that says, because it's like the first time in like we don't know how long where there hasn't been like a new Star Wars movie that's come out, a new Marvel movie that's come like or
Mm.
a new something that's in cinemas that you have to have previously seen like 6 years worth of content to sort of know like what's
What
going on
it's
in it,
about,
like
yeah.
because you can go and see like everything everywhere all at once or whatever. You can go and see this Nick Cage movie. There's a bunch of other
Northman.
Northman, like there's a bunch of these other like single standalone movies that don't have any prerequisite knowledge to them. um and it's like, so if you're just like, I want 3 hours to kill and go watch a movie, it's not like you have to go, oh wait, but I
Yeah.
haven't seen the last two
Yeah.
Northman
It's a
movies.
good
Like,
time
damn.
to do it.
Like,
Like
yeah.
great films coming out lately. So it's
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah.
And there's a Downton Abbey movie coming out soon. Also, speaking of Marvel, I won't be able to watch fucking Doctor Strange
I'm sorry, what?
until late.
Oh, because are you not like allowed to go sort of do
I
anything,
just
or
well, it Doctor Strange comes out
it's like May 4th, I
3 days,
think.
2 days
Yeah.
after my surgery.
Damn, that's next week. Shit, I forgot about that. Holy shit. Yeah, okay,
Yeah, it's
cool.
next week, Doctor Strange.
Damn. Okay.
So yeah, I can't watch it until like 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Oh,
So I'm
that's
like
rough.
worried because I've never gone to a Marvel
That
like
long
that wasn't
without,
that week.
yeah. Damn.
So
You're
I'm
gonna have to like. Okay, so the thing is, you're gonna be stuck at home, right? And you're gonna want to find things to do. And the
yeah,
best way to find things to do when you're stuck at home is to go on the
internet.
internet. But you're not gonna be able to go on the internet because
Mhm.
you're gonna get things spoiled.
Yep.
Oh, bro, that's
Yep.
killer.
So yeah.
I think what you need to do is download just like, what TV shows haven't you? Maybe The Office is a good place to start. There's
Oh
like
yeah,
9 seasons
I
of The
have like a
Office.
whole line of
So
shows. My
there's like
favorite
9 seasons of The
reality
Office.
real estate
There's,
show, it has like a season that I
yeah,
completely forgot about and a new season
yep,
coming out next week. So I'm like, fuck yes.
yep.
Because it's like just trash, but it's also a reality.
There's that new
Real
Kardashian
estate.
season that came out on Disney
I
Plus. You
haven't
probably give that a
seen
go too. I haven't seen.
Kardashians.
I never watched it. But I think me and Emma watched like 5 minutes of it because like we were last week or the week before when we were watching Moon Knight. It came out or whatever,
Oh yeah,
and it was obviously the big banner of the first thing you
yeah,
open when
yeah,
you load
yeah.
the Disney Plus app. And we're like, oh look, the new Kardashians. Okay, great. And I was just like, let's watch it, just as a sort of joke. And we watched
How
about
long
five
do you
minutes of it.
last? Oh, okay.
I would not be able to sit through a full episode, I don't think, of it, but I do want to kind of see like some of the drama that falls out, like
You should
when
watch this real
Pete
estate show.
Davidson like comes into it, and
Oh, I guess you kind
you
of know
know,
the celebrities, so maybe you're a bit
like,
more attached in that way. But
I see. I only really care about Pete Davidson,
oh,
honestly.
fair. He is cool.
Yeah,
He's cool.
he's kind of,
Um,
yeah.
But yeah, no. If you want reality like that is trash drama, like stupid drama, and look at like multi-million dollar
Yeah.
houses.
One of our favorite pastimes, by
Yeah.
the way.
Selling Sunset is so good for that.
Yeah, Emma's parents watch that, I'm pretty sure. And they're always talking about it. So
Can I hang out with
yeah.
your Emma's parents?
It's like right. They watch that
Below
boat
Deck?
show too.
Yeah.
Below Deck. Yeah, they're right up in that. They watch a ton of the same
It's
shows.
so good. Anyways,
They're all over it.
yeah. News.
I haven't been doing too much either. Honestly, like I said at the start, literally been Fortnite.
Yeah,
My
and
life
no
has
new
been boring.
games. Oh,
No new games.
The Nintendo Switch sports game comes out this Friday.
Yeah, I think it's maybe today. Honestly, let me have a look. I did play the beta of it.
Oh, you did too.
No,
You did-
29th. Yes, so Friday.
29th.
Yeah.
You said it was a
Yeah.
bit like gimmicky.
I don't know. After having played like the original one, like Wii Sports and then Wii Sports Resort or whatever, I think I was used to that
Oh,
sort
that's
of
right.
control
Yeah,
scheme a little bit. And like we could only play, I think, 3 of the 6 game modes total.
Hmm.
In the sort of beta, little play test. And like the bowling, just it felt a bit weird. The tennis just felt a bit weird too. Like yeah, I don't know what it was exactly, but it just like it didn't feel as pick up and play as Wii Sports did, you know?
Yeah.
Like you could hand a Wii remote to like anyone at like
And they would know what
2006
to
or whatever it
do.
came out and be like play tennis and they would
Yeah.
have been able to do it, but I feel like in this one you sort of got to explain like there's a forehand, there's a backhand, there's a
Yeah, right.
slice, there's a like it feels like there's an extra layer of accessibility to it that like wasn't there previously. So I
Yeah.
don't know. Like I'm
I-
sure I'll still enjoy it, but you just got to try a little bit harder with it, I guess now. I don't know.
mm. Also, I was just trailing on Twitch and people are
Mhm.
playing the Overwatch 2 beta. So I think that's
Yes.
like
The Overwatch 2 beta, there is a way,
around the
you've got to get
corner.
into it a specific way. But yeah, I think it's private at the moment, or like they're only handing out a handful of codes.
Yeah.
And then there is a sort of more public one just around the corner.
Yeah, cool.
Um, so we should probably try and get into that because we used to play a fair bit of Overwatch back in the
We
day.
did, and it might
Um,
be like a nice place to
like
start it
throwback.
again.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah,
it could be newish, but I don't know. I
yeah.
don't know if the same characters are coming over.
There's a
Kind of
couple
looks
of
like it.
there's a couple of characters that are returning from the first Overwatch or whatever, but then they're also making a couple of new characters to add in.
Okay.
So not everyone's coming across, but they're filling those gaps with the new characters,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. And they're also changing it from I think a 6v6 to a 5v5 or something like that. So it's going to be
Okay.
more in line with like most of the other competitive shooters that are on the market,
Yeah.
like Siege and
Yeah.
Counter Strike and all that sort of stuff. So it's
Cool.
gonna be interesting. Gonna be interesting, I think. But yes, as you said before, Jen, should we jump into the news? Because we have a
Yes,
fair few
let's do
things
it.
to go over this week. Because as I'm sure you guys noticed, we did miss last week just because we couldn't find too much stuff. So I thought
Yeah.
rather than put out just a filler episode of like nothing and us chatting shit, we'll just wait a week, take a little rest, and we'll get back to it when we have some things. And lo and behold, we have a fair few things this week. So let's jump right into it. Starting us off, gents, PlayStation is now reportedly requiring developers to create 2-hour trials for their games when they're being released to the
Interesting.
PlayStation Store, which is very interesting
I
because,
quite like this.
yeah, demos used to be a big thing. Like way back when, I used to remember getting demos for almost anything. Like any game you wanted to play,
Mm.
9 times out of 10 there was a demo available for it. These days though, they're few and far between. You're lucky to get one if you want it.
Yeah, Steam technically has a 2-hour demo in the fact that you can refund
Yes,
before the
yeah.
2-hour mark.
Yeah.
Do you
And you
think
could
2
probably
hours
say
is
that
enough?
for
Or
you
too
could probably say that
much?
for a bunch of the other things. See, I don't know. And that's where they sort of go into it a little bit because as part of the story, whatever, there was no sort of like, this is all early news too.
Yeah.
So we don't know too much about it. This was sort of a report coming from game developer. Many studios just this past week received news in an update on Sony's developer portal. And the portal, these developers as well, were not given any previous communication about this change.
Oh,
This was sort of like
no.
strung onto them like, hey, if you're making a game currently, you need to also be making a 2-hour demo to go on to, if you want to make it on the PlayStation Store. This change, though, this new policy isn't going to apply retroactively. So if games have already been released,
Right, right.
like Call of Duty and stuff like that, if they've already been out, you don't have to make a demo for them because they've
Yeah.
obviously been out for a little while. And it also won't apply to PlayStation VR games because some of those PlayStation VR games are about 2 hours in length. So it's
Right.
like you're kind of just getting it for free at that stage then. But yeah, however, developers who do plan to launch on the PlayStation Store in the near future are going to have to adhere to these updated guidelines. And I did see a couple of them saying that if you wanted to, you could put in a special request to Sony to like either have a limited demo, so maybe only like one level, or like, it was
That's good.
specific
That's
structure
good.
of things. So like, but that's going to be on a case by case basis. For most
Yeah.
developers, they're probably going to have to just fork out a 2-hour game trial. And for most developers, they're probably just going to be like, here's the game. You have a 2-hour timer. See how far you can get through it.
Yeah.
Like, because that's what they do on Steam. Like you said, it's not really a demo, but you can use it like a demo. Like,
yeah,
you know, so you just buy a game. If you've played it for less than 2 hours,
you
you're entitled to a refund for no sort of reason. And if you haven't played it and it's been in your inventory for like 2 weeks, I think up to 2 weeks,
oh yeah,
you can redeem you're entitled to a refund too, I think, from memory. But yeah, it's kind of interesting, you know. And obviously this is all coming up around with the new updates to like the PlayStation Plus subscription service that they're changing in the near future again. It's because that was part of I think the second tier. Normal PlayStation Plus was just going to be normal PlayStation Plus, but I think if you go the next tier up, there was like, you know, you get access to a couple of hundred games on the service. You get like 2-hour demos for a couple of games too. So it looks like this is the reasoning for it. And another interesting thing though, any other game that costs $34 or higher has to have this trial or this demo with it. Anything less than $34 gets bypassed. It doesn't require a 2-hour
well,
thing.
I guess anything under $35 is quote unquote indie.
Yes.
So
and more often
usually
than not, probably
shorter.
going to be short. Yeah.
Yeah. Which makes sense because then maybe you could finish it within 2 hours.
Yeah.
Because I was just thinking like games like Returnal would be amazing for this because like you can just get a sense of the game before you fully commit to it.
And I feel like that'd be a good one too, because the Returnal is one of those games where it's like, it's tricky. It's not impossible, but it is tricky, like, you know, to get through some of those missions and things. And so you'd probably find a lot of people will start playing it. They'll get through like an hour and a half, 2 hours of this trial, and they'll be halfway through one of like their runs, and it's like, damn, I kind of want to finish this run.
Keep going,
and so they'll feel like they sort of have to fork out the extra $90 to buy it, you know, now, or, you know, just download the full thing if you've got the highest PlayStation Plus subscription service thing, whatever they're calling it. Yeah. But yeah, like you said too, Jens, I'm excited for this because for those sorts of games, like especially like, you know, if you haven't played anything similar to it before in the past, and it's like, kind of want to test it, it's a great way to do it.
Yeah, I think that's great, and that they're gonna try and protect smaller developers in that way as well.
Yeah. It is a bit shit that a lot of the developers didn't know that this was coming, and they're sort of like, hang on a minute.
Shitty.
Like, if you think, I think they did announce that the new subscription changes were coming sometime around the middle of the year. So if you think any developers that were releasing a game very shortly after that, like maybe around like, you know, September, October, November or something,
they wouldn't have known.
That's quite a short amount of window to be like, oh shit, we kind of need to fork out a 2-hour demo as well, you know, like, but I think there was also a thing where it's like you have a 3-month buffer period from when the game was released to have that uploaded. Like it's a decent buffer period.
Oh, okay.
I guess, like, you know, so it's I'm excited for this though. I can't sort of wait for this. I'm down for more demos. I'm down for them.
Speaking of more Sony news, Sony is now reportedly going to put ads in PlayStation games.
Now, I got clickbaited by this headline a couple of days ago, I feel, because I saw this and I was like, you're kidding.
Yeah, there is an asterisk. It is
but then I read it and I was like, okay, it makes sense.
So the ads are going to be in free-to-play games, according to Insider. The ads would appear in games and are meant to give game developers a way to monetize their work and encourage them to continue building free-to-play games, which isn't a new thing when it comes to free-to-play games, like mobile games, like any game. There's gonna be, you know, things. There's gonna be ads and things to incentivize you to put money into it as well. But
of course, they're a business at the end of the day.
Yeah, they need to try and survive.
So
So the in-game ads are expected to launch by the end of the year and would appear in inconspicuous places within the game, like billboards. Which I think I quite like this, because I was a bit worried of like it being like a Candy Crush pop-up of like, hey, you
I was gonna
died,
say,
but you
can you imagine? You know, like when you're watching a YouTube video and like in the bottom middle, like
yeah.
that little banner comes up and it
Yep,
changes
yep.
between one or two different. Can you imagine you're just like playing, a match of Call of Duty or something like that, for example, and then you get
Yes.
one of those banner that comes up that's like, try the new Mountain Dew flavor. Like
Yeah.
what? Like, but yeah.
So it's
Thankfully, you won't see that because Call of Duty's actually no. You know what?
what?
Warzone is a free to play game. You could actually see ads in Warzone
Oh,
because that's a free to play game.
true, true.
Damn.
But yeah, I do like that it's gonna be subtle for people, and
Yeah.
hopefully not too annoying.
Look, how long do you think it's going to be subtle for, though?
That's true.
Do you reckon they're like, okay, for the first 6 months, we'll make it subtle so that everyone gets on board, and then we'll hit them with full screen ads and like flashing lights and like unskippable 30-second trailers and all this sort of stuff? Like,
there are maybe because they are incentivizing players to watch ads through rewards. And what rewards? It could just be like coins, stuff like that. And the ads would be sold through a private marketplace. So ad space, really. Sony hasn't decided if they will take a portion of the ad revenue, but it is considering having developers and publishers pay for consumer data as a way to get in on this a bit.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I feel like it's their platform.
With how expensive, I mean, not just that, but with how expensive like data science is these days or whatever, like everything revolves around like you and your data and like what you browse the internet these days. And it is very expensive, to get specific data, especially if you want, like, if you just say, I want data for people aged 16 to 19, like that's fine. But it's when you start going, I want data on people aged 16 to 19 that like video games, that spend 13 hours a week watching Marvel TV shows, that like, like you start getting more nitty gritty. That's when it like, it racks up and stuff. And I'm sure most of these games, if you're playing Fortnite, for example, I'm sure they're not going to have, mortgage ads and stuff like that in there, because most of the people that are playing Fortnite and not even considering getting a mortgage.
Yeah.
Like, so they're going to obviously have to pay for consumer data in some way to be able to target the ads to their player base, So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. This is still rumors, but it's probably going to be implemented. It's like very likely. It's not just officially been announced, but this had been leaked a week. I think it was a week before Microsoft says they're planning to do something similar for free to play Xbox games. So yeah, Microsoft and Sony are basically, by the end of the year, going to consider placing free ads in free to play games.
I wonder how easy this is going to be to implement. Because like at the end of the day, like they can offer the platform to be like, if you want to have ads in your free to play game, go for it. But then it's going to be up to the developer to code in like where these ads pop up, how it pulls the AdSense data, how it, all this sort of stuff. Microsoft and Sony aren't going to be able to do that because they obviously don't have the back end for a lot of these games, or at least from my knowledge, it seems like it's easy to say, I want to do, put these ads in games, but again, the developers are going to have to do the work for it. So it'll be interesting to see what developers do take, up this offer, I guess, of putting in this a little extra work. I'm sure there's no downside to it, especially if it's for free-to-play games only. They're probably not making much revenue off it anyways, depending on what the game is, of course. So, anything to help line their pockets a little bit, I guess, and help pay for server fees and more development fees and, staffs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Probably worth it in the end, I would think. But I mean, you think too, like Fortnite is a good example because they basically already have ads in the game as it is. Like, not in the typical sense, but like we were running around and we saw Ariana Grande running on the map. We saw Moon Knight running. We saw Spider-Man running on the map. Like, there's all of these like, pop culture things to be like, after this Fortnite game, I might go and watch the new episode of Moon Knight. Like, because he killed me 9 times before. Like.
Or I'm never going to watch Moon Knight because that fucking guy killed me like 20 times.
It could have a negative connotation too. This is very true, yeah.
It is weird, like with Fortnite, because it's like the rich
It's
just
so
get richer.
commercialized. Yeah.
Because it's like Marvel doesn't need more advertising.
No.
They're doing very well.
But the thing is too, it went both ways. Do you remember in Infinity War or whatever, when they went to New Asgard, or the then, like, it was some Scandinavian sort of like little town, but it became New Asgard, where Thor and Korg were sitting in the home and they were playing Fortnite or whatever it was, and they had like that 3 second shot of
Were
Korg
they?
playing Fortnite on his
Oh my
PlayStation
God.
4. Yeah, like it goes both ways, and then I think they did an ad too with Hulk referencing Fortnite or something like that, or it was in the same movie Hulk referenced Fortnite. I can't remember, but yeah, so it goes both ways, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting. I'm keen to see where this goes. I don't play too many free to play games on
Yeah,
console,
neither
so
do I.
I feel like I'm gonna dodge most of this stuff as it is. But it'll be, yeah. I'm intrigued to see how it pans out. And how, like I said, how easy it's gonna be for these things to be implemented. Because yeah, I don't know. It seems like it'll work, but at some point it also seems like it won't. I don't know.
Yeah. See?
Yeah, we'll see. Moving on there, gents.
Mm-hmm.
Super Mario, one of my favorite video game characters of all time, probably a lot of other people's favorite video game characters of all time. We all got very excited when they announced that there was going to be a Super Mario Bros. Movie, an animated movie that was coming out sometime this year. But you know what? It's been delayed.
Oh,
It's been delayed, yeah.
what a shame.
So kind of unsurprisingly, I guess,
Yeah.
because this film was meant to release on December 21st, 2022, so this year, towards the end of this year. And like that was, yeah, that made sense when they announced it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But since the announcement way back when, during that Nintendo Direct, I haven't seen or heard anything regarding this movie.
That's true.
Like honestly, just a few weeks ago, I think I was in the shower and I was like, we should be getting a Mario trailer anytime now. Like it's been a good couple of months. Like it's almost halfway throughout the year, and like the film comes out at the end of the year. We should be getting a trailer at some point, right? And then yeah, this week, just yesterday actually, Shigeru Miyamoto took to Twitter on the official Nintendo of America Twitter account, and it was quite funny how he typed this out. So the tweet starts. He goes, "This is Miyamoto. Full stop. After consulting with Chris Sun, my partner at Illumination, on the Super Mario Bros. Film, we decided to move the global release to spring 2023, April 28th in Japan and April 7th in North America. My deepest apologies, but I promise it will be well worth the wait. Full stop." And I was like, that is so, like, it's just, I love how it was, like, typed out. There was,
Yeah.
it was, yeah.
I'm surprised Japan gets it so much later.
I was saying that too. I was like, damn, you would have thought that they would have got it at least a day before,
Yeah.
North America, or even a week or something like that. Like, I know it not even sort of the same thing, but like the James Bond films, because they are very like English and very sort of like European heavy, they get it a week early in Europe, and then the rest of the world gets it. And then even more so this year, like we got it 2 months, I think, after it came out in
We got it
Europe
because of very late
because of all that
year.
COVID stuff. So
Yeah.
it's a bit different. But yeah, they typically get the James Bond films like a week before everyone else, just because they are sort of very English and very, European. So you would have thought too, like, sort of the pinnacle character of Japanese video game culture
Yeah.
would have been released a week or so early.
So
but
strange.
it is a bit weird. Yeah, I don't know. Nonetheless, I'm still very excited for the movie. I'm very intrigued to see how Chris Pratt will go
I don't know
voicing
about
Mario.
this.
Yeah.
I don't know how he's gonna.
It's gonna be a trip. It's gonna be a trip. I can tell you that much right now. It's gonna be wild. Like,
Yeah.
ugh.
Yeah. Did you know there is a
I feel like that's
Super
a lot
Mario
of people's
movie?
reaction to it. Yeah, like from the 90s or something like that. I think
It's fucked up.
It's very weird. Yeah,
It
I
is
remember seeing it
strange.
when Blockbuster was a thing. We used to go to Blockbuster every once in a while to get, like, movies out if it was going to be a rainy weekend.
Did you
or something.
rent it?
No, and I remember seeing it and being like, even then when I was a kid, I looked at it and I was like, nah, that's weird. Nope, no, thank you. I thought back then that it was a bootleg, like Super Mario
Yeah,
movie that somehow had snuck its way into Blockbuster, like, which it kind of is. But yeah, even back then I was like, yeah, no thanks. No thanks. But yeah. So a small delay from December 21st to April 20th. That's not huge, you know, like it's a whole year. It's only a month or a couple of months at a time, so it could be worse, but we have to await another trailer or another announcement for this movie now.
Yeah.
And then some more ridiculousness, Jens. Did you see this on Twitter? I saw
didn't.
some. Okay, so I saw a couple of people talking about this, and I was like, surely this is
I
a
need to
piss
look this
take.
up.
Like, surely they're taking the piss, right? But no, Square Enix has announced a $15,270, $15,270, sorry, Final Fantasy VI statue. $15,000. I might reiterate.
Does it look that good?
I'm not the biggest Final Fantasy fan, so you probably
I need to look.
asking the wrong person. But yeah. So Square Enix has unveiled a ridiculously expensive Final Fantasy collector's item over the weekend in the form of a huge $15,000 statue, as I said. The statue depicts the character Terra Branford atop a suit of Magitech armor and is 1/6 in scale. And so you might be thinking 1/6, that's got to be huge, right? No.
Really?
This statue, it's not life size by any means. It's big. Don't get me wrong. It's big, but it's not like life size. It's not like, half the size of me, because that would be half size in scale. It's 1/6 scale, so 1/6.
It's very detailed. I'm seeing it
it's
now.
very detailed. Yeah. So obviously it has a reason. It has a kind of a reason for its $15,000 price tag. Like,
That's
they're not
a
just
lot,
making that
though.
up to, like, take the piss. I guess they kind of are taking the piss, but it's there for a good reason, So like I said, this actually isn't life size by any means, but you're still gonna need a fair amount of room to probably display it, because 1/6, yes, it's not small, but it's also not like massive. It's like, it's an awkward size where, like, you need a decent sort of like stand or table or, like, end for it to properly display it. And I did see, this is where I sort of saw all of this news popping up, was a lot of the Final Fantasy fans were sort of like calling out Square Enix, because not only is the price like egregious and like obviously quite ridiculous for the average fan to be able to afford, but it's also really hard to display. So if you did have a spare $15,000 sitting between your couch cushions and were like, yeah, sure, I like Final Fantasy VI, I'll buy this. You've then got to think of, shit, where am I going to put this thing? And so I saw a bunch of the fans that were like, they would have much preferred like highly detailed, smaller figures, like for a more reasonable price point, rather than these giant, like hard to display, also very expensive monstrosities. Like, yeah, I don't know. I wonder, like, and this isn't the first time that Square Enix has done this before as well. They've also got a couple of other like insanely expensive statues and collectors things on their website. So, they're used to doing this, I guess. They know what they're doing.
I mean, it is stunning, but I'm so curious if they're gonna sell 600 of them.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised if they do.
It's like
I'd be very
a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, to think, if I go, and it's not like the same sort of thing, but if I go to Pop Culture, which is one of our
like I've seen statues that I wanted for like that are huge, for like maybe 5,000 max.
Yeah.
But that I was like, no, I can't do 5,000.
So here we go. So there's just the first thing I sort of see on this website when I look for statues. There's a 2000 AD Judge Dredd 1/3 scale statue. So 1/3 is going to be a little bit bigger than 1/6, about double the size, And it's on sale for $1,000. It was $1,300, but they've knocked $300 off, probably because they're not selling too many of them.
Let me see life size 1:1. Okay. Oh, life size. Alien from Alien vs Predator is $12,000.
Yeah,
that's
which again though,
life size.
You think that's life size, and it's cheaper than a 1/6 scale one, right?
I wonder if it's painted by like original artists, like if the artist has anything to do with the.
I mean, the original artist there was a promo video that they released, sort of announcing this, and the original artist was, the main person in that video that was like explaining how he came up with the design for it, like when the game was originally released, and like, that he's super proud to see it, being put into this like statue form and all that sort of stuff. Obviously you would feel very proud and like, prideful of your work and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If it was getting a $15,000 price tag whacked onto it, But yeah, and I think you did have some input into the design of the statue too. So it's not like they just like, ripped an asset, sized it up, and were like, yeah, send it off to the printing press and get this bad boy, popped out. But yeah, I don't know. Never have I seen one of these like insanely expensive collector's things for like any of the games that we play,
I know,
Like,
there's not really get that from Siege or
no, yeah. Like I got the hammer behind me now, and you got the hammer back there too, but like they're not
maybe
$15,000.
like so I just looked up 1/6 scale statues, and the most expensive on there is $2,000
Okay.
for a Batman ninja. Just sick.
Ooh, cool.
Sick.
Cool. I like Batman Ninja. But yeah. And again, I guess it can also come down to like that 1/6 scale one, the
Yeah.
Batman one.
Yeah.
Like it might not be as detailed as
Yeah. Like the Final Fantasy's figurine is like, it's stunning.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people can justify that price.
No.
Which is, I think, what people are
I would be
upset about.
terrified as like shipping that thing, right? Like if you think it's coming
Oh my
from
God,
anywhere
yeah.
in the world, like, like I
Shipping
would want to go on
as
personally
is
pick that thing up.
expensive.
Yeah.
And then you have to buy insurance on that because
Yeah.
$15,000. If that gets lost in the mail,
Yep.
you need insurance on that.
Yep. Incredible, right?
Yeah, nuts.
Incredible.
Well, if you end up buying it, listener, do tell us. Have a
Yes, please
Show us.
email us, call us, something like that, and just let us know what it's like and why you bought it, how much you like Final Fantasy VI, I guess. I'm sure a lot if you can spend $15,000 on a collector's item for it.
Good for
But yeah.
you.
Yeah, well done. Congrats on your new statue, I guess. Now, to wrap us up, gents,
Yeah.
as always,
Moon Knight.
But this week we got 2 episodes to go through because we skipped last week. So we got both episode 3 and episode 4.
I think we'll just go straight to spoilers because at this stage, you
Yeah.
know that we already are interested in the
Exactly.
show, that we can't.
There's not
say
much.
a lot.
There's not much else that we can say. Yeah.
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 So it's going to be spoilers mode from now on.
Yeah.
So if you
If
haven't
you haven't
watched
seen
it,
Moon Knight, probably skip it. Probably skip the end of the
bye.
episode. Thank you. See you guys next week. What do you think, Jens?
It's definitely not my favorite Marvel.
No.
I like
Yeah.
Oscar a lot.
He plays the role really well.
He does.
Yeah.
I think I'm so happy that they're finally doing like Egyptian shit.
Yes.
Like I think they moved it well, and to see like the tombs and just mummy stuff, it's nice to see.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't like, I'm not longing for every day at 6 p.m. for it to come out. No?
Yeah. Okay. I getcha. See, I think I would agree. I do still think that my favorite Disney Plus show is still Hawkeye. Honestly, surprisingly, like
Hey.
I still think I'm on that bandwagon of Hawkeye was the best one. WandaVision is also up there. That is very, very close. I don't know if I'd be able to, like, they're probably on the same tier, honestly, for me. Like Hawkeye and WandaVision, they were great for me. And Moon Knight's probably a very close third.
Yeah, I would say third. Oh no,
but
I think Loki better.
No, I think I would enjoy Moon Knight a bit more than Loki at this stage, at least. I would just like to see a bit more action. Is all.
Yeah.
That scene or whatever from episode 3, I think, where they were on that like rich island trying to decipher
Oh yeah.
the tomb sort of thing that the collector had.
Yeah.
Like just that little fight scene where he was like, jumping off the pyramid and like his cape was flowing and he was throwing around his like moon discs. Like that was cool.
That was really cool.
Like, and same with episode 4. We also got a little bit of action in episode 4 too. But I want a bit more, and it's hard to say that because I do also, like you said, I really enjoy like the discovery parts of the episode where they're like, they're searching tombs and they're like trying to figure out all these like hieroglyphics and, deciphering these things and whatnot. that's always, fun and exciting too. But yeah, I think the thing I'm longing for the most at the moment is just a bit more action.
Yeah.
But I think I think we got 2 more episodes running. We got episode 5 and episode 6, and then we're done.
Oh,
You could
wow.
probably assume that there's going to be a fair bit of action in these last 2 episodes. Or one would assume at least.
Yeah, because it's kind of like getting up to the climax of the plot
Yeah.
that they've shown
Yeah.
us. Unless there's going to be a twist or something.
The end of episode 4, they were literally, in the tomb that Amit was buried in, and they picked up his like little statuette and stuff like that. So at any point, they could basically, summon him and or resurrect him. So the climax is right around the corner. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if in tonight's episode, he does get summoned or, something similar and rocks up. And then there's a cliffhanger. And then I would be longing for episode 6. But yeah.
Yeah, I think cliffhangers are always great.
Yeah.
Just like, how could you end like this?
Yeah.
How could you leave me like this?
It's always a bit disheartening when they do it because it's like, damn, now I gotta wait a whole week. But
the show that I've spoken about a lot, Severance, does it so well.
See, maybe that's what I was waiting for, Jens. Maybe I was waiting for the entire season to come out so I don't have the cliffhangers.
Well, you have no excuse now.
This is true. Yeah.
And you watch the football show.
Yeah. Yes, this is true as well.
Are you watching Better Call Saul?
No, I do know mild spoiler. Okay, yeah, not mild spoilers, but I do know that they saw that just around the corner, Jesse and Walter were going to pop up at some point.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I don't know if it was true or not, or if it was just like a headline that they were going to pop up.
Oh, right.
And I don't know if it's this season or if it's next season.
It could be, because I think this is the last Better Call Saul until it pretty much Breaking Bad.
Exactly.
Better Call Saul happens before Breaking Bad.
And so that's what I mean, where it's like, it's a spoiler, but it's kind of not a spoiler because it's like, know that they're going to meet at some point. Like, we've all seen Breaking Bad, so we know how it sort of, unfolds.
Ties, yeah. Which I think is such a interesting way to do it for a show. It's like, we know what's going to happen. It's just we're just discovering his origins and the things that took place. That point. Yeah, and it's really interesting.
Yeah.
And I see Bob Odenkirk in such a different way now after Nobody.
I feel like there are a lot of people say that as well.
Have you seen it?
No, I do know what you're talking
really
about.
Good.
The movie, yeah.
It's really good. If you just want like action, nobody's just good for that. There's like
no, I just want Moon Knight action, Jens. That's what I want. I want Moon Knight.
Well, watch Nobody, and then you'll get your fill. Get a bit wet, and then you can watch Moon Knight.
Yeah. Well, all right. But yeah, no, I'm excited for the last 2 episodes of Moon Knight. I really want them to like put him in more Marvel stuff. Like,
I wonder how much he'll be involved.
Because it was kind of surprising where they announced like 6 episodes and like that was it. And you would think for a character and an actor of
his scale.
Of his like scale and sort of stature and stuff at the moment as well, like after just coming off Star Wars, one of the biggest franchises ever, and Dune, and then a bunch of other things as well. Like, you would think that they would want to utilize him as much as they could. But he could
also be very busy.
Yeah, and that's probably what it is too. Like, obviously they're making the second Dune part, and I think a third one too. I'm sure he's got other things on his plate that he's working on. So there's a ton of stuff. But it'd be cool to see them like sneak him in other things and stuff like that. Around the corner,
Yeah, I have a feeling that they might not. His character just, I don't know, but
I mean, you can never tell with Marvel.
Yeah, you really can't.
Like, who knows what's going to happen?
Doctor Strange can probably pull someone out of nowhere.
Exactly. We're saying Doctor Strange comes out next week, and like that is probably going to be the wildest Marvel movie.
I can't wait.
Like ever. I mean, you're going to have to wait, Jens. You're going to have to wait at least 2 weeks.
I don't do drugs, but I feel like watching that high or something could be like a trip.
I was gonna say, I feel like that would be the best one. It's gonna be wild. I'm gonna have to wear those those pants or whatever that can tear off into shorts. You know, like they have the zipper around them.
Why?
Because I feel like it's gonna get that hot and sweaty in there just
Oh.
from the amount of stuff that's gonna go on. That it's like I'm gonna have to like de-pant half my pants. You know, like.
Fair.
But yeah, very excited for all things Marvel that are coming up. Very excited. But anyways, gents, before we wrap up, I think that was everything. Was there anything you wanted to add on before we say goodbye?
Nothing.
Nothing much from me either, unless you haven't played Fortnite a good while. Go and try Fortnite. It's great. I promise you'll have a lot more fun than you did before. But yeah, as always, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you all not next week, actually, because Jens will probably be recovering. We might have a little break.
Yeah, I'll try and upload a gameplay video by then.
Yes, we should have. We'll see you in the gameplay video sometime next week, but not the podcast. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.